Hi everybody. Now this is something I've been working on. I should have done a couple of other videos. I bought myself a Tiger tank. Now this is a 1/16 scale Henglong Tiger tank. I got it off Facebook. It didn't work when I got it. So there's three screws holding it together. I think probably the guy who had this before had bought it for his son maybe, and he'd used it until it was bollocksed. Now you see these gearboxes in the front. Have I got the old gearboxes? Well, the gearboxes were bollocksed. Now when you buy anything from China, even like my lawnmowers, the gearboxes don't last long on my lawnmowers. I think it's because all the metal parts aren't actually made of metal, they're made of chocolate. Now what I mean by that is everything starts wearing away, and it doesn't wear like what you would imagine metal to wear, because the stuff is really cast out of dross filings and what have you. And the gearboxes, when I spoke to the chap at I used Forge Bear tanks. I don't know where they get the name from, but he said the Henglong gearboxes are made of zinc, which is a very soft metal, so the inner gear in there had stripped. So a pair of new gearboxes with the motors, $21.99. So that, I didn't think that was too expensive. The BB gun, which fits inside the turret for firing BBs, $9.99. And a new smoke unit. I've kept the old smoke unit, but if you can see here, you've got, let me point to it. You've got this top section that comes off here, which has got a rubber gasket around it. When I took that off, the rubber gasket was bollocksed, and there's a coil in there and a wick, and you put oil in there and it sucks the oil up, and the capacitor or the resistor warms up and it heats the oil up and makes smoke. That was knackered. So by the time I bought this whole smoke unit was only $8.99. But it's so noisy. You can see the speaker here because you've got your tank noise, which you can turn the volume on and off. The way it works is that element heats up, and then this little pump goes backwards and forwards, which creates it pushes the smoke out. But the motion of that going backwards and forwards is so bloody noisy. It overpowers the noise of the tank. So I have just bought off of eBay. I see a guy, he puts a little electric fan, takes that pump out, puts a little electric fan on the back, and then it's virtually noiseless, and it does exactly the same job as that bloody great big pump. I'll show you it working. Just bear with me a second. Right, you hear the tank start up. So you've got the diesel noise. Now the other switch underneath, hold on. You can see the smoke coming up there now. But the noise of that fan I don't even know why they resell these things. You know, they should be all thrown away. You know, the noise of that fan, of that pump, it's ridiculous. So the plan for today is to figure out how you remove this housing from the actual smoke reservoir, the oil reservoir section, and replace it with the electric fan. I've just undone those 2 screws on there, and I thought I'd do you a quick video. So what I bought for this tank, this it came with electric metal drive gear and a metal idler focus. I think what you do, the parts that you replace on these tanks when you get them, is you buy their metal gear and then you buy metal tracks. This came with plastic tracks. It came with, what was fitted was these LED lights that go on the front here. You can see that that's exactly the same focus, exactly the same back housing, but the front, and it's so bright, it just doesn't look right. So I bought these replacement lights, because one of them was blown, so I needed to get replacement lights, so I thought I'd just swap for those. So they're made of metal. Fitted those on. I fitted some tracks, replacement track sections. They've got to be painted. I've ordered a driver, a commander, sorry, not a driver, because driver sits in the front, idiot. A commander to go in here. And the trouble with it, I think Henglong, I didn't know anything about Tiger tanks. The idea of buying one of these is I want to figure out how it works, because I want to build a massive one. I'm going to build a massive printer, and then I'm going to build a massive tank. It's just another ongoing project. Anyway, let's see if we can get this smoke generator sorted, and I'll do a part 2 video and explain how the smoke generator comes apart. And I didn't know anything about these tanks. I didn't even know how to turn them on. Nothing was working. So you've got a BB gun in there. This is the gear that turns the turret. Apparently this tank itself is really an old version, probably one of the first ones that come out. You have a on-off button there, and this button here is what turns the smoke generator on and off. The battery's in here, which is an old NiCad battery. Really tight fitting in there, so tight that it split the covering on the cable, the flex. You know, it's obviously not quite designed big enough. Anyway, I'll see if I can sort this smoke generator out. That turned off. Oh yeah, I had to the gearbox is mounted on 3 screws, and the plastic mounting on the back of this one had broken, so the gear, there's a lot of torsion on these gearboxes when you're turning, doing a 0 turn, because old tanks really, when I talk about a 0 turn, is when they turn completely on their axis. Even real modern tanks don't like to do a 0 turn in case they throw a track. And as I think my brother said to me, he doesn't think that Tigers ever did a 0 turn. You know, because of that screw being broken in the housing, the gearbox was flexing and throwing the track on this side. So I just drilled through there and bolted that. I've got to cut that off, because I think Henglong, being the cheapest tank you can get, has got a plastic body. The Tagan has got a metal body, which is the next upgrade. I think people just continuously upgrade their tanks, and that's what makes them cost so much money. But the fact that I I just want to figure out how, because the bigger you make this thing, everything is exactly the same, just on a bigger scale, bigger gearboxes, the same control unit. The smoke systems and the speakers get a little bit bigger. Anyway, let me sort out this smoke unit, and I'll do a part 2 video and explain how that all came apart. Okay, cheers, bye.